guys, and welcome back to another chapter of From Ashes to a New Beginning. Written by me, Stacey Holt. Artwork was by Pastelkittygoreart. As for my amazing voice actors, Diz will be voicing Adrien and Cat Noir. Zachary-CT will be voicing Tom. M will be voicing Sabine. And I will be the narrator as well as Marinette. As always, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, as well as check out all my voice actors below in the description. Update, we have finally hit 10,000 subscribers. That makes me so happy, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. But I don't want to stop there. I want to keep growing with you all. I guess we'll just see where it goes. Anyways, before I start rambling on, what you've all been waiting for, Chapter 44. Adrien looked at Tom and Sabine sitting on the couch in the dark living room. Their worried faces seemed to be exaggerated within the lighting. Adrien continued to stroke Marinette's hair so she wouldn't wake up.
Adrien?
Sabine started.
Yes, ma'am?
Adrien replied.
How are you two so close?
Sabine asked.
Well, we were classmates back in high school.
No, dear. Her and Cat Noir just broke up not too long ago. I know my daughter. She loved Cat Noir. She would not be over this. What exactly is going on?
Sabine asked. Adrien went quiet. What should he say? How could he get out of this? Should he wake Marinette up to get her to interfere with the conversation? Oh no, was he taking too long to answer? Was he sweating?
Adrien?
Tom said, leaning toward Adrien and putting his hand on his shoulder. His face must have been terrified, because both Sabine and Tom gave him a reassuring face.
We aren't going to be mad or yell at you. We aren't assuming anything about your father and your relationship, but if you're dating our daughter, you're like a son to us. We just want what is best for her.
Tom smiled.
Adrien, you need to understand, we are moving across the world. She isn't going to have us here to protect her anymore. She is a strong girl, but she needs you too. She needs her friends as well. We need to be able to trust that you'll take good care of her.
Sabine smiled.
I will. I promise. I'll do anything for her.
Adrien smiled. Adrien looked down at Marinette, who was still sleeping in his lap, and smiled. Tom and Sabine exchanged heartwarming looks, and then looked back at Adrien.
You never answered us before, Adrien.
Sabine smiled. Adrien slowly turned his head back around to find Tom and Sabine looking at him. Great. He thought they had let it slip. They really were the parents of Ladybug, all right.
Well...
He let out a nervous laugh before clearing his throat.
Why don't we go upstairs and put her to bed?
Tom smiled. Adrien nodded and watched Tom stand up. Tom gently lifted Marinette up in his arms and carried Marinette up to Adrien's bedroom. Adrien stood up and fixed the living room back to normal with Sabine, feeling a little awkward. They all went up to Adrien's room, and Adrien shut his bedroom door behind him, watching Sabine and Tom sit on his bed beside Marinette. Why was the air so heavy? Did they know? Was he just overthinking again? Why was it so hard to swallow all of a sudden? Adrien walked over to Sabine and Tom and sat down on the bed where he would normally sleep, still feeling awkward.
How do you know she sleeps in the bed with me?
He smiled nervously.
We didn't. You just told us.
Sabine laughed.
Crap.
Adrien said.
How are you two so close?
Sabine asked again, smiling at Marinette.
Since we moved in, we just, grown closer?
Adrien said nervously.
Grown closer?
Sabine asked, looking at Adrien.
Yes, ma'am.
Adrien said, more nervous than ever.
Honey, you're being overprotective again.
Tom laughed.
I'm sorry, Adrien. Leaving Marinette on her own here in Paris may have made me a little overprotective.
Sabine chuckled.
It's all right.
Well, we better be off to sleep. We will see you in the morning, Adrien. We still have to pack for our flight in the morning.
Sabine smiled. Sabine stood up and left, leaving Tom and Adrien. Adrien turned to Tom, wondering why he stayed behind.
So, when are you two getting married?
He smiled widely. Right. Tom was such a romantic. Adrien remembered back when Marinette confessed her love for Cat Noir when they were younger, and he went berserk.
Well, we haven't really talked about that. We've only recently started dating. I think marriage is a little soon.
Adrien smiled nervously.
Well, as long as my little girl is happy, I approve.
Tom smiled, looking down at Marinette sleeping.
Thank you, sir.
Adrien smiled, feeling his heart warm at the words.
She's gonna be sad when we leave tomorrow. Make sure nothing bad happens to her when we're gone.
Tom sighed.
I won't. I know you're worried. I promise. I'll take good care of her. Nothing will happen.
Adrien reassured him. Adrien watched as Tom stood up and took his leave. He knew not only Marinette was saddened by the departure, but also Sabine and Tom. They were excited about their new adventure in the US, but leaving their daughter behind was a tough choice. Adrien lay down under the blankets and stared up at the ceiling until his eyelids grew heavy. The next morning, he felt the bed shift. He looked over and saw Marinette sitting up while yawning. He smiled and extended his hand to touch her hair that was now down, causing her to turn her head. She smiled, seeing that he was awake. "Good morning. I didn't mean to wake you up," Marinette said.
You didn't. I woke up on my own.
Adrien said. "Good. Before we go downstairs, we need to talk," Marinette said, a little more serious now, catching his attention. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I am writing a new fanfic while trying to work and edit, so sorry for the slow pace, though I am so ready for Halloween this year, as this new fanfic is going to be super scary, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Also, if you like my videos, please consider turning your YouTube ad block off. Also, subscribe, comment, and like. It really helps me out. Turning the YouTube ad block off is like showing me your support and helps me continue making content for you guys. As always, have a miraculous day, and I'll talk to everyone soon.